Hey everyone, it's just about 1 o'clock. That's the time that I come to you each day from my house to your house. It's not like the normal thing. And hey, look at you, Beth Belot. You're the first one on today. How you doing this morning? Um, I heard that up there in Maine that the governor uh, made all businesses that have to do with housing people, hotels, bed and breakfasts, anything like that, closed down because they don't want. There's just so many New Yorkers fleeing New York and other places too, other big cities. They want to get out of the cities. In fact, I'm going to talk coming up maybe next week um, with a person who's a expert at the real estate market to talk about, what's happened to the housing market. How do we think it's going to play out um, after all this ends? But interestingly, the rental markets for houses and apartments, but for houses, rental markets outside of the main big cities, like here in the New York area, up in Westchester County, in Hudson County, in out on Long Island. I heard out in the Hamptons, there's not like a house left for anyone to rent because people are trying to get out of the cities. The Jersey Shore, people have been going down there renting, and a lot of these places are making them rent from now to the end of September, to September, the end of the summer. And that housing, that rental market has just been over the top. The problem is a lot of these places, like I saw a sheriff, I guess it was, interviewed in one of the small, beautiful little, oceanfront towns on the Jersey Shore, and they said, in the summertime, everything opens up and we can accommodate everybody and we can take care of everyone. Right now, whether it's a restaurant or a local medical facility or the police department, they're just not geared up to handle a like peak summertime crowd in the middle of winter. And that was the same reasoning that I guess the governor of Maine used when she just shut everything down. And I think they're like stopping everybody at the border if they have New York plates or basically out-of-state plates, making sure that they get their name and a contact, because it's so important now that when somebody, gets the virus, that they can do that contact tracking, I guess. I think I said it right. So they want to know everybody who comes into the state. So anyway, you're up there in Maine. Let's see who else is joining me before I go. I want to, it's been kind of fun. I'm really kind of sharing my life with you, but that part of my life that you don't normally get to see when you're in your professional mode. And I'm going to share a good friend with you today. That's just really interesting too. I see here Debbie Davis. You're from Kentucky. Hi. Steve Lowe. Hi, how you doing? Christine, you're joining us from Weston, Florida. It's hard to see this. I've got big lights on it here. Kathy's joining us from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. Hey, Lindsay Krause Weinberg, my daughter. I love you. You're joining us. Annie's joining from Florida. Oh, God. Oh, whoa. There's a whole bunch of you. Okay, so I'll get going here. So I want to share with you today one of my really best friends, and she is a producer and a writer. She produced my first workout video. I'll kind of take you back once I get her on the phone. She has co-authored a number of books with me, but since she started writing the first one with me, she has gone on to become one of the most prolific and busy co-authors. She's written over 50 books, like 20 bestsellers. And so I thought we'd talk about that. If she answers me. She's written books with Susan Lucci, Jennifer Hudson, Justin Bieber, the Jonas Brothers, Al Roker, Mary Lou Henner, Melissa Etheridge, and it goes on. And some of the biggest news stories that we have seen unfold. Um, uh-oh, call back, we'll try again. That we, like, for instance, Elizabeth Smart, remember when she was abducted, and like stories like that, a lot of these people who have gone through just unbelievable adversity and these horrible crimes in their life, and then Laura comes along and has to kind of completely throw herself into it. And well, she's not answering on this one, so I am going to call her on her regular. We were trying, whoops, FaceTime. I don't want to do that. All right, you guys, stick with me here a minute. The best laid plans. We like checked that out and made sure that it worked and all that. But we're going to do it the old fashioned way. Thank God for FaceTime, huh? I mean, FaceTime has really like saved us all during this whole thing.
Hello?
Whoops. All right. Sorry, wrong number. How the heck what's going on, you guys? Here's Laura. Let me try this one again. So I want to just kind of let you in on a little bit of what's going on, what happens in the process of writing a book as well. And all right, let's see if we can do it this way. Except there she is. We got her. Technology. Now, so let's see if your screen is that way. I wonder if I should turn my screen. Yes. So we're going to do this a little different today. And I'm going to put this up here. Laura, say hi to all my friends here on Facebook.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Joan. Sorry about that technology glitch. I don't know what's happened.
All right, so here we go. And so Laura, I was just telling everybody how you and I started writing a book together, and then and kind of your career kind of all started there. Let me see if I can move over a little bit. And so we got to know each other way back when. Hold on, when we did this. Remember this? The Workout America.
Oh my God, yes, I do. That is how we met.
Yep,
I was brought in as the producer of that video. And I love the outfits, Joan. I really think we should try to bring those back.
We also had, if I remember correctly, these nifty little socks that, you pulled way up. No, we actually had, what were those things that Jane Fonda used to wear? And
leg warmers.
Leg warmers. Oh, yes. We had leg warmers on, didn't we? Well, you didn't.
We did.
You didn't, but you put...
I got out of having to wear the outfits, learn the routines, but I was there at a lot of the rehearsals.
Oh my gosh, we rehearsed for that thing. Let's give some credit to Barbara Brandt here. Barbara Brandt at the time was my fitness trainer, and she really took me through an absolute transformation. I was really stuck in a rut, having had 3 kids, having gained a lot of weight, not having lost it. I wasn't working out. My schedule was just so overwhelming. And she literally, besides the fact that she took 50 pounds off of me in front of America, by the way, which is what started this whole thing. Republic Pictures came and said, we want you to do this video. I said, only if I do it with my trainer, because I'm not a fitness trainer. And they said yes, and that's how and we practiced that routine because it's really done to music. It's actually a lot of fun, but I shouldn't tout it too much because I don't know some of it's on YouTube, by the way. I think some people can get it on YouTube.
I think you can get it on YouTube.
So then...
Great exercise video while you're stuck at home.
Yeah, and so, and by the way, Nicole here, maybe we can figure out a way to put a link here on Facebook to wherever that video now... It was a video, except we don't play videos anymore these days. So then one night we went out to, I guess, maybe celebrate the success of the workout video, and from 2 gals who never rest on their laurels. Remember that? And we said now people are really saying, how did you do it? Everyone wanted that magic bullet. So we decided...
Well, I thought you were only telling a part of the story by doing the workout that video because you had gone through such a transformation in your life. You were newly single, you had 3 young girls at home, you had lost all this weight, you looked like $1,000,000. And I thought it was really important for you to share that part of your story with, people as well, because you were such an inspiration. You represented a lot of women in the country at that time, as you still do. So, I thought it made a lot of sense for you to tell your story.
Absolutely. And I remember I called my agent at the time and he said, that's a ridiculous idea, doing a cookbook, but we don't take no.
No, he did. As a matter of fact, we had written out what we thought was this amazing sort of quick outline, and we had done this really cool timeline, and we called your agent, and he said it was the worst idea he'd ever heard, and literally the worst idea he'd ever heard. And I thought, like, what? How could this be the worst idea? And he said it was because you don't cook, and it was a part cookbook, part life story, and I just felt like wrong, because you know what, America woke up with you in their kitchen. You were in the kitchen, cooking with Julia Child and Wolfgang Puck and all of these great people. And to me, that's all that really mattered. So we ended up getting all of these fabulous people to participate in this book.
And by the way, for the record, I'm a pretty good cook. However, you and I look at these pictures. Like, not only did we write this book and tell my kind of the story of my whole just getting fit, but also getting fat first.
Yes.
And I did it very honestly.
I think one of my favorite lines from that book was that the baby weight excuse had worn thin.
Yeah.
Because your youngest was, I think, 10 or 8, 7 when we wrote it. I can't remember, but yeah. So, and I get it. As a mom, I get that baby weight excuse.
But the thing is that it meant that we had to work with nutritionists, because if we called it healthy cooking, then we had to come in under certain guidelines. So we worked with Sarah Moulton. People might remember Sarah Moulton started on Good Morning America, and she's the person who, if Wolfgang Puck was going to be on, or if Julia was going to be on, she's the one that prepared all the food in the kitchen back behind the set, and had all the different stages of a recipe out. She went on to have her own cooking show and do many books on her own. But she helped us make sure, and she was also the editor at, I think at the time, of Gourmet Magazine. And she helped us. Every day after day, we cooked different recipes. And
the criteria was, if we could make it and make it with ease, then we knew that the reader could make it.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to be simple, we wanted it to be family friendly, and we wanted it to be healthy. So, we checked all of those boxes.
So then we had so much fun doing that, and became a major bestseller. Hold on, sorry.
It did.
So I got all kinds of offers to do another one. So we did healthy. Let me come over here. So we did healthy living, and I got to tell you, to this day, this is one of my favorite books. And by the way, I do have. I bought the remainders, so I do have hundreds, at least hundreds, maybe 1,000. Of both of these books, and I'm going to figure out how to make them available, probably through that joanlundenbook.com. That's probably going to be the easiest way.
Joan, I have to tell you something. I'm looking at the cover of that book, and I'm looking at you, and I don't want to say how many years ago it was that we wrote that book, but you have not changed a bit.
Oh my God!
Fabulous on the cover
oh my God! My hair is almost exactly the same here.
It is.
Holy smokes!
Amazing. And that's, by the way, my favorite book cover of yours. I did love Had I Known, but this is hands down, because this is the Joan that I know. This is like the Joan behind the scenes. We only saw you wearing these suits and these outfits on Good Morning America. Yeah. And
all of a sudden, I had to do pictures like this. Do you remember trying to get this picture? I had to climb up this huge rock pile, and the photographer, Simon Broody, who was fabulous, we picked a photographer who was not just your regular beauty photographer, but one who shot for Sports Illustrated, a sports photographer, the kind of guy who got the picture of you coming out of the water and the droplets of water. That's what we wanted. But I was all of a sudden having to do pictures. Remember this one? having to get it in the bathtub.
Yes, I remember that picture, we had to get that picture pretty quickly because it was hot in there.
Yes, um, and I didn't know Simon Bruni well enough. I had to do it before any of the bubbles melted. And all these shots that were so unlike me, we took him to the Caribbean with us. And, you know, when you're not used to doing these kinds of shots, it seems so foreign and kind of, okay. So then I guess during the course of writing this book, you and I worked out at a gym, which was right across the street from GMA. And I love the concept of the gym. You had to sign up for a sport. You couldn't just come in there to try to like, I'm going to work out so I can wear a smaller size. You had to sign up for marathons. They did the Rome Marathon or I can't remember.
Kayaking in the ocean.
Kayaking, biking, and
right.
mountain biking or mountain climbing. So I signed up and you went to this gym too. So here we are. We climbed the Grand Tetons and here we are, the two of us. This is day one before we realized just how hard it was going to be. Then we got up the mountain. First day on the mountain, I got altitude sick.
Yes.
And not to mention, I'm telling you, and it's true, our tent was on downhill on that mountain. I know it was. I mean, I swear it was. Because I'm not the kind that gets sick. So now, here we are going up the mountain. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the expert mountain climbers with us decided that they needed to tie a whole bunch of us together. And here we are at the top of the mountain. Here, I have one. I like this one. This is us at the top of the Grand Tetons. And all I could think of was, all right, fine, let's get back down the mountain. Come on, let's go.
And you were trying to figure out how to get a helicopter to plunk you off that mountain.
And you were saying, oh my God, we can see like 5 states from up here. I said, that's nice, let's go.
Well, I remember speaking of the Caribbean, because we did that photo shoot with Simon in the Caribbean. I remember holding up the little clip that they tied us in. With
the carabiner.
And I said, yeah, the carabiner. And I said, and you guys said, Joan, do you know what this is called? And you're like, I have no idea, because you were just done at that point. And I said, it's a carabiner. It's where I'd like to go on our next adventure.
Yes. So, you know, a lot of people have said to me, why? You know, why did you do it? And I mean, I'm an adventurer, as Laura knows. However, I think that the end result, because we had the gym had a psychologist go with us, and she interviewed us as we were getting ready to go on that, when we were on our treadmills up with the incline up, and everybody kept coming and putting more and more stuff in our backpack. And then she talked to us at the bottom of the mountain, and then after we came back down. At the very first, we said, what the hell were we thinking? You know, I risked my life. I've got kids. And then about 10 minutes later, when we all got into the bus to go back to Jackson Hole, I said, you know what? If I could push myself that much farther than I ever believed that I could push myself, what other areas of my life might I also explore that? And that was like a courage building and a life, I think, a life-changing adventure.
I agree with you. To have experienced that with a friend and a good friend made it extraordinary. But I remember the morning that we were on our ascent to the peak. And this is one of my, life lessons that I took from this, and I use it a lot. And we stood on the mountain that morning, and we were not going to summit the highest peak, and our guide knew it. And he stopped us and he said, I want you to take a look around you. There are peaks everywhere you see. Pick your peak, because you can summit anytime, anywhere. Just pick your peak. And you don't have to reach the highest mountain to have accomplished what we've accomplished. And I was so proud of what we did, and I was so humbled to have experienced it with you.
Yeah, it was amazing. And you know what? I think in a like fashion, after you and I did these first couple books together, I think that was a confidence building experience for you, because you went on then to write over 50 books. And you said something to me one time, because when all of a sudden you take on someone else's life and you have to tell their story or their experience, what they went through, you kind of have to become a chameleon.
Very much so. I mean, if you look at my body of work, it runs the gamut, like you said earlier, Justin Bieber, Dog the Bounty Hunter, Joan Lunden, John Maxwell. Like, these people don't have a lot in common in terms of how they tell stories. So my job is very much to be their voice. I mean, I think I know your voice on the page as well, if not, equal to how you know your voice on the page. And I think, I think if that's my superpower, I think, is being able to
Yes.
channel the people that I work with and not have my own voice on the page. My job is to push my clients and to get them to go past the New York Times, two-line answers. I want to get to the hard stuff, but I also want our readers to feel like you're just talking to them. That their friend is in the room and you're just having a candid conversation. And I've done that, with so many of my clients. And it's why I've done multiple books with my clients. I now have, you aside, I now have a 2-book limit on the people that I work with, only because, it has to stay interesting for me to be at the top of my game as well. And I love, because of the diversity of the people that I've worked with, the life lessons that I've been able to cherry pick out of that have been extraordinary. And each and every project has impacted my life in one way or another. And I get to pass that on.
And certainly this one.
Oh,
So
for sure.
I remember I called you and I told you that I had breast cancer, and I told you that I was documenting it, that I was going through and just writing everything down. I was taking a camera in with me, videoing everything. And then, of course, I did this photograph, for People magazine. And basically, you helped. You were taking that journal, because I journaled every day. Every day I journaled about how I was feeling that day, how I felt coming out of my infusions, and about the whole cancer experience. And lo and behold, the day the book was published, I remember you had called me and said that you went and got.
Can I share the story?
Yeah, tell the story. It's your story.
It's a pretty extraordinary story. So I had gone through your cancer journey with you for 18 months, and when you called me and told me you wanted to tell this story, as your friend first, not your collaborator, I wanted to make sure that your health was primary and the book was secondary. And so I agreed to do it with you, and I wanted to make sure that, at any moment your health was being compromised, because of documenting this, that we would stop, and you agreed to that. So I had gone through your journey with you for 18 months, and I wrote about cancer in first person. And on the day that the book was scheduled to come out in the bookstores, I was, my daughter, who was 7 or 8 at the time, had put together, my mom had died of cancer when I was 10, and she knew, of course, about your cancer, and so she started worrying that mommies get cancer. And so I was taking her to our family therapist that afternoon, and that morning in the shower, I found a lump in my left breast. And I knew right away that it was not normal.
But you had a clean mammogram.
I had a clean mammogram less than 6 months earlier. But what I know for sure, Joan, is that had I not written your book, I wouldn't have taken that lump as seriously, and I wouldn't have acted as quickly. I knew that I had just written the manual on breast cancer. Like, I knew what to do. And I knew at the time the book was coming out, and you were just leaving to go on your book tour. So I didn't tell you about the breast cancer for quite a while, for probably 6 weeks. And the way that you found out, if you remember, was you had called me, just kind of download on what, your experience on the road was and how people were responding to the book. And at the end of the conversation, you said, "So what's going on with you?" And I didn't say anything. And you said, "Oh, come on, it's not like you have breast cancer." And I didn't say anything. And you were like, kidding me? Why wouldn't you tell me? Like, why wouldn't you have called me? And I just, I didn't want to take away from the experience that you were having. You are now on the other side of your own journey, and I didn't want to be a burden on you. And Joan, much like you quarterbacked my, beginning as a co-author and a collaborator in world publishing, you stepped right in that night. You stepped right in, and you helped me assemble the team that took me through my journey. And I will be forever grateful for your jumping in, because I really think it changed the trajectory for me in so many ways. And that's what true friendship is about. True friendship is showing up. I remember when very early on in our friendship, there was a Marlene Dietrich quote, and I think it's in one of the books. It's the friends you can call at 4 a.m. that matter.
Yeah.
And you were always my 4 a.m. friend because you were up. So I could call you at 4 a.m.
And there's the Oprah Winfrey quote, your real friends are ones that'll get on the bus with you when the limo breaks down.
Exactly. So, and you're my Oprah and I'm your Gail. So, I love that, about our friendship. And I will be forever grateful for what you did for me for my breast cancer. And like you, I'm well on the other side. And it was a journey. And I'm happy to say that I'm through that as well. But this did lead us to...
Well, it did lead us to... I then went back to Laura at some point, and I'd had this book in Laura had heard me talk about this book, but it had been for years I was working on it, and it was Live Younger, Longer. And then I went through cancer and went through this huge change in my mindset it's about staying healthy and staying strong. And I realized it's not staying younger, it's understanding your body and how it works, and like no BS, like really truly understanding your body. So I said to her, I really want to do this book on aging, to which she said,
I said, Joan, let me get this straight. I wrote a book with you on breast cancer and got breast cancer, and now you want me to write a book on aging? Are you out of your mind? You are on your own on this one, sister. No way.
Now,
I think that I'm, the ultimate method writer, and hell no, I'm not aging. So no, you're on your own on this one.
But in truth, you did have time to do it, but you were, at that point, sometimes it takes our best friends or our colleagues, our really close colleagues, to help us believe in ourselves, maybe more than we actually believe in ourselves.
Definitely.
And you challenged me at that point. You said, you know how to write a book at this point by yourself. You know how to do it, and you're funny. And you got to be funny if you're going to write about aging. Sit down, write the book, and put the Joan Lunden humor into it. And I don't, yes, I did this myself, but it wouldn't be this book right now without you. She introduced me to my publisher and to the editor and to everybody. Like, she helped put the book together.
Well, I think much like you've coached me, in areas in my life, I feel like I was coaching you through this, and I did believe in you. I knew you had not only the skill set, but I knew that you could do a fantastic job. What I also knew, you're right, is how funny you are, and I wanted you to share that with people, because selfishly, I people always ask me what's Joan Lunden really like. I'm like, she's so funny, and people are surprised to hear it. But now with, why did I come into this room? I don't think people are going to be as surprised anymore. I'm going to have to find another answer, because you are funny, and that's really, I think, what the challenge was for you, was to trust that your audience would accept your humor, that they would embrace it, and that you could be you. And you know what? In life, that's all we need to be, right?
Yeah.
Just do you.
And that's why I've been sharing, like very much sharing with this crowd right here. These are like my buddies here. But I also want you to tell them about the latest project that you're doing. I want you to talk about Anxious Nation, which is a documentary film, which you started way before this whole thing happened that we're doing now.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, thanks for asking about it, because it's my passion project right now. In fact, I as much as I enjoy writing books, all of my focus and attention has been on this film, which is a documentary about kids and anxiety and the impact it has on families. And this was an epidemic prior to the pandemic, prior to, Corona. And, my concern, obviously, is the long-term mental health ramifications that we're going to see in people of all ages, our kids, ourselves, our parents. I think that there's going to be some real big fallout from this. So I think that now more than ever, talking about anxiety, which people think is shameful, and there's a shroud of secrecy around this topic, and my goal is to raise the conversation. I want to raise the dialogue around it. I want to rip the shroud of secrecy off and bring it out of the dark and into the light, because this is something that is manageable, it is treatable, and it's important to know that we're designed to be anxious. So you know what? You should be feeling anxious right now. It's to the degree of that anxiety. And so I luckily, and if I can share this with you, I have 14 kids in the film from ages 11 to 23, and all 14 of them have cameras. So we are actually capturing quarantine in real time through the eyes of these kids. And it's really interesting material that's coming, and especially from my kids that were graduating high school or scheduled to graduate college. And, there's a lot of anxiety in and around the things that they're not going to be able to experience. And two of my kids are very worried about finishing, their courses to be able to pass. So this is real. It is something that's not going to go away. I couldn't be more proud to be working on this film. I have an amazing director who social responsibility films are her specialty, Lila Connors, and she works with Leonardo DiCaprio. So how bad can she be, right?
But I don't know if everybody realizes give me that statistic that kids, and I guess this has a lot to do with phones and social media, that young people are more lonely and feel more disconnected and lonely than the elderly.
Yeah, the statistic is that kids between 18 and 21 identify as being lonelier and more isolated than adults 72 and older. And that's a pretty shocking number.
It is.
And we're also seeing astronomical numbers in suicide among kids. In the African American community, suicide is the second highest cause of death for girls between the ages of 5 and 12, which is astonishing to me.
It is.
And, college students between the ages of 18 and 21, suicide is at an all-time high. But, we've done such a good job over the years marketing these campaigns that tell our kids to talk about it. Seek help. You're not alone. This will get better. All of these campaigns. The great news is all of those campaigns have worked. The bad news is that the institutions, the colleges, and the schools are ill-prepared for the onslaught of kids seeking help. And so there has to be a systemic change and a paradigm shift, because parents are confused. We've got a generation of really anxious parents who don't want their kids to feel the way they feel. So in that effort to not have them feel bad, they shield them. They protect them. They do what's instinctive. And it's really the counterintuitive thing that will help them the most. What's hard now is easy later. What's easy now is hard later. So that's like a mantra in my house. And this film is the brainchild of a very frustrated parent myself who has an anxious child. And I thought, if I'm struggling with this and I have the ability to, thank God, the resources to get my kid the proper help and put the right tools in the toolbox. But if I'm struggling, how are other families getting through this? And Joan, it's a topic that's not going to go away.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about it. So I thank you very much for allowing me to talk about it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today with my audience here. I'll say bye
so good to be with everyone. Joan, and I just need to thank you for one other thing.
Yes.
It is the first day that I've actually gotten dressed out of sweats in 45 days. So thank you for getting.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Laura. And it's interesting that she says she really wants to work on that film because she feels like it's a taboo subject. And that we need to stop having it be a taboo subject. I mean, I've written all these books over time, and every one of them had to do with something that I was going through at the time. Bend in the road, dealing with change. It happened while I was leaving Good Morning America. Those first few books, Healthy Cooking, Healthy Living, and Growing Up Healthy, I did that right as we were having the first set of twins. And that's what prompted me to do this book too. Yeah, you thought I wouldn't do a shameless book plug? Yeah. Um, did I mention that Amazon is delivering again, once again? So, but that's what makes me write. And the more I learned about my health and my body, I think probably after going through breast cancer and coming out on the other side, I had learned so much. And I thought, I can't, I mean, it's just in here, but I want to share it with other women. And to me, that's why I wanted to do a conversation starter, because it's important that we all realize that if you find all of a sudden that your waistline's getting bigger and that your memory's getting a little foggier and you can't sleep as well, and you got a little leaking problem now and then, and you think, oh my God, what's happening to me? It's the same thing that's happening to every other woman out there, pretty much. And there's no reason why these should be taboo subjects. We should all talk about them, but I did more than talk about them. I talked to the doctors and the scientists about them, so that we really understood why these things happen, so that they aren't just something happening to us, that we understand that they're an aspect, a symptom of aging. And I kind of outline when some of these different things start happening, and then also some real good advice and tips from the experts on what we can do to make them not always go away, but at least understand them and make them more palatable, I guess, livable. I guess that's a word, but nevertheless, still annoying. But you know what? I mean, I've thought about it a lot, and I forget who did this saying. If you don't, aging is like mind over matter. If you don't mind, it won't matter. But if you understand it, it also doesn't matter as much, because it's not like just you deteriorating. It's something that you understand that are just, things that go on in life. So I hope you guys are all faring well. We're coming up to another weekend. I'd say, gee, what plans do you have for the weekend? But I pretty much know that your plans are kind of like my plans, except don't let me forget, you guys, Saturday's my wedding anniversary, okay? Got to remember. I'm just kidding. I've already designed a post for Facebook and Instagram and everywhere for that day, because that day 20 years ago is the best day ever for me. All right. Have a great day. Stay home. Stay safe. Let's get over this. And thank you all for joining me. Namaste.